Imagine being erased from history while still alive. Your name stripped. Your face hidden behind iron. No trial. No crime. Just vanishing into silence. This isn't a fantasy. This was the fate of one man, and for 300 years, no one truly knew who he was. This is the true story of the man in the iron mask. Hit that subscribe button now. This mystery is deeper than legend, and you're about to discover why. The year is 1669. France is ruled by King Louis XIV, the Sun King, whose word is law and whose enemies vanish without a trace. That year, a man is quietly transferred to the fortress of Pignerol, a remote prison in the Alps. He arrives under guard, escorted by Benign de Saint-Mars, a loyal prison warden known for his discretion. The prison logs do not list his real name. He is identified only as a prisoner requiring maximum secrecy. What sets this man apart is his mask. Not of silk or leather, but of iron. It covers his entire face. Guards are told, speak to him as little as possible. Do not ask his name. Never remove the mask. Even at Pignerol, a prison housing political enemies and traitors, the masked man is unique. He has a single jailer and is treated with a strange mixture of cruelty and respect. Rumors swirl. Some say he was a nobleman who insulted the king. Others claim he is an illegitimate brother of Louis XIV, hidden away to protect the monarchy. Saint-Mars takes him from prison to prison over the years. Each time, the same orders are given: keep him masked, isolated, and anonymous. Eventually, he is transferred to the Bastille, the infamous Parisian prison. Even there, he is kept apart from all others. His cell is guarded at all hours. No visitors. No letters. No trial. For over 30 years, he remains locked away. Not for what he did, but for who he might be. In November 1703, the prisoner dies. Official records call him Marchioli, a false name. He is buried the next day. No one sees his face. But the mystery doesn't die with him. It begins to grow. After the man's death, rumors erupt across France. Why the secrecy? Why the iron mask? Voltaire, the Enlightenment writer and philosopher, spreads the most famous theory. The masked man was the king's twin brother. According to this theory, Queen Anne of Austria gave birth to two sons in 1638. One became Louis XIV. The other, hidden from the world to prevent a succession crisis. If both had a claim to the throne, France could fall into civil war. So one was crowned, and the other, imprisoned for life. Voltaire, who himself spent time in the Bastille, claimed that the masked man was tall, noble in bearing, and treated with unusual deference by the guards. Why would a common traitor receive such treatment? Why would his identity be hidden even in death? Alexander Dumas later picks up this tale and immortalizes it in his novel, The Vicomte de Bragelonne. Hollywood follows with its own takes. But the truth may be more disturbing than fiction. Royal births were closely guarded events, and records from 1638 are suspiciously incomplete. Could a twin have been erased from history? And if so, what kind of threat would he pose to Louis XIV? A rival king? A pawn in foreign plots? The idea that the monarchy would imprison a royal relative for life isn't far-fetched. It fits a pattern of ruthless control over the royal image. But this theory, while romantic, isn't the only one. Another contender for the mask? Count Ercole Antonio Mattioli, an Italian diplomat who betrayed French secrets. In the 1670s, Mattioli leaked the details of a secret treaty between France and the Duke of Mantua. It was a major diplomatic embarrassment. For that, Louis XIV allegedly ordered his arrest. Mattioli was kidnapped, smuggled into France, and imprisoned under a fake name. Some records from Pignerol show a prisoner named Eustache Dogger being held in secret around the same time. Was this Mattioli under yet another alias? The timeline fits. And Mattioli was known to be held in the same prisons as Saint-Mars, the keeper of the masked man. But if it was just a diplomat, why the mask? Why the decades of isolation? Why destroy all records? Historians argue that even high-level betrayal didn't usually warrant such extreme secrecy. Something about this man was different. Was he more than a diplomat? Was he connected to royal blood or secrets too dangerous to nom? Or did he know something so explosive, the crown couldn't risk it ever leaking? The mask wasn't just punishment. It was obliteration. Still, the Mattioli theory has its limits. Too many contradictions. Too little evidence. And no iron mask. Other, wilder theories emerged. Some said the man was a disgraced general, punished for losing a war. Others claimed he was the biological father of Louis XIV himself, and thus a scandal too big to expose. One theory even suggests he was a valet who caught the king in a compromising situation, and was silenced forever. Each theory shares one theme: the prisoner saw something. Or was something. And the truth could shake the monarchy. Prisoner records show a man kept in good health, with books, wine, and clothes. He wasn't tortured. He was preserved. Preserved for what? Blackmail? Leverage? Or simply to vanish him without killing him? Guards noted he never attempted escape. He followed orders. He didn't resist. Was he broken? Or resigned to a fate he knew could never change? Or perhaps he knew escape was worse, because his face itself was the danger. And so the mask stayed. The silence continued. And the myth grew. On November 19, 1703, the man dies in the Bastille. The records list his burial in the St. Paul Cemetery under the name Marchioli. The name is likely a deliberate misdirection. St. Mars orders the prisoner's cell scrubbed clean. Furniture burned. Walls repainted. All documents tied to the man vanish. As if the goal wasn't justice, but deletion. This kind of erasure is rare. Even political enemies were often named in death. The mask was reportedly buried with him. Sealed in iron until the end. And then, silence. No official acknowledgement. No public statement. But within a decade, whispers become rumors. Rumors become books. And the man who was never supposed to be remembered becomes unforgettable. Voltaire fans the flames. Dumas turns him into legend. Historians chase dead ends. The French Revolution brings the fall of the monarchy, but the mystery of the masked man survives. Today, centuries later, he still haunts the walls of the Bastille. The face we never saw is the face we can't forget. So, who was he? A brother? A traitor? A secret heir? We may never know. But the mask wasn't just iron. It was a symbol, a tool of absolute control. To silence a man so completely speaks volumes. Whether it was to protect a throne, hide a scandal, or bury a shameful truth, the mask did its job. It erased an identity. But it couldn't erase the question, why? Why was one man worth so much secrecy, so much fear, so much effort to forget? Maybe it wasn't who he was. Maybe it was who he could have been. A king. A rival. A witness. A ghost. The Bastille is gone. The monarchy has fallen. But the man in the iron mask remains. And as long as we ask questions, he will never be truly buried. If you made it this far, you're not just a viewer. You're a seeker. A historian of the untold. So join us. Subscribe to Infinity, where forgotten truths, forbidden stories, and ancient whispers live on. And tell us in the comments, who do you think was behind the mask?